I always believed that mentoring and tutoring went together. Like I would always tell folks, you can mentor someone without tutoring, but you can't tutor without mentoring. Like they kind of go together. So with an organization that has a scholars program as well as a mentoring program, I was like, that's the perfect fit. The work that I had been doing for Love of Children and before that for the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Washington, those were some of the philosophies that we utilized with the kids that we had. So having a different area, where some of the same precepts and concepts can be used in order to touch a demographic of young people in similar ways that cause them to want more out of life, to understand their purpose and their identity, it just fit. And then when I came for a visit the first time out this way, I was just blown away by the town and the people in the town and just the feel that this was the right place. And then always I heard from above that this is where I want you to be. Okay. And when I met Kentavious and I met Giovanna, I was like, these are really quality people. Like I felt that in my heart and my spirit. And I was like, I could really work with folks like that. So when I took over, I was well aware that this was or is the 25th year of existence. And I had already done my background on the history and some of the key players that made the organization happen. So I really felt connected to that mission and the way things were started. Being a part of, two organizations that I was with during the pandemic when it started and then through the height of it, we had to make changes that were for, the good of our youth, but we also had to protect ourselves as well. So we certainly went through closing the doors, putting everything virtual, doing everything that we could to make sure that we still had resources for our particular communities. And that was tough. And when I see how it was done here, I mean, they've done some similar things that we were able to do and still be successful. Because unfortunately, I know several organizations that closed their doors and they no longer exist now. So when you have leadership in place, a board in place that is able to navigate a tough time such as this, that was also another thing that made me realize that this was a good place to be. Yeah, so the demand is always there. I think the moment the schools opened back up, all those kids were starving for more than just sitting in a classroom every day. They wanted to know where they could have fun. Parents want to know, where can my child get support? Parents want to know what organizations are out there that have a roadmap to success that I can put my child in. The challenge has just been getting mentors to understand that the need is there for the kids, and then ushering more mentors, quality mentors in to be able to pair one-to-one with these young people so that they can have the same experience that many of their peers are getting. My goal is, now that we're coming out of it, is for the word of mouth, whatever we put out there and wonderful publications such as yours, that the need is there. So we need you to come so that we can make a larger impact. And I believe this community will rise to that occasion. But that strategic plan is really that roadmap that we all follow. Once approved, we're all saying we're all in on this plan that we're going to push all of our efforts forward to execute. And I think that we're really seeing that really come to fruition now. It means that these are our goals and these are our priorities for the here and now up to the next 3 to 5 years. And we're committed to doing these things. It means that we set our metrics, how we're measuring everything, what the outcomes we want to be, and that we do it in a way where if anyone needs to see, we can present them in a meaningful way. It means that when we have our ducks in a row, it's easier for us to get funding, to pull in more partners, to pull in more families to say, hey, we know you guys are doing great work in the community. We see it not only in the kids, but when you come to our offices, you see the great things that are going. Yes, group mentoring is very important because it allows, it's two ways. It allows for an avenue for our one-to-one matches to now be able to come together and meet other mentors and other proteges. Like, kids from different schools might not ever come in contact with each other and create friendships if we don't create avenues for them to do that. Bowling, movies, community events, Oasis, which is right here on the corner. I've spoken to an elder and the pastor already about a nice partnership with them. They're building up, they're building right next door to be like a community place where it'll be a cafe, commercial kitchen, and then a whole area where people can come play games, do homework, movie nights, things of that nature. That's the kind of, synergy that we want to create between organizations, because when we're partnering together to do that, we're making a much bigger imprint in the community. The second thing is that any of our students that have been waiting, we didn't want them to just sit on a waiting list. We wanted to have activities for them to get involved in while they were waiting on a one-to-one match. So that was also important to the staff and myself, that we engage our young people that are waiting, and we don't just say, okay, well, you just wait while we get you a match. No, we wanted them to have some meaningful activities, bike rides, nature hikes, being able to still interact with us, with other mentors, and with other kids as well. Now, for scholars, that program, I love the concept of it, that Loretta and her husband, Marshall Bloom, created. It's getting kids into college. I mean, any way we can get kids into college, it's a phenomenal program. But the way we do it is we're looking at first generation. We're looking at kids that really have a need, but they are absolutely excelling in the classroom. So we require a 3.0 and above to be in the program and to stay in the program. And what we're saying is, if you keep your part, keep your grades up, you show up for, our workshops, our tutoring, our field trips, because we do college trips, we do meaningful trips to like different museums and things that expand culture. If you are fully invested in the program, our commitment to you is to get you funding to go to college. Now, the main goal is we want them to get full rides to go to school. But of course, if we fall short, we're still getting them a number of funding sources and grants that help them to take care of the expenses of going to college. And we're not limiting them to what schools they go to. They can choose any school in the country. And we don't stop there. Once we get them into college, we're with them the 3 to 5 years that they're in school. But we want them to know that we're with them every step of the way, because our motto is first grade, meaning if we had a child in first grade, we're going to take them all the way through their first job. So that's through college and the career selection of their choice. We want to see them, that day where they say, I got my first job in my career. And we also don't want them to forget to give back once they've gotten all they've gotten out of the program and they're able to do that. So the Scholars Program instills all of those things in them. We need mentors. We need quality folks of all backgrounds who have a heart for serving the children, who really want to pour into them. We want people, I don't care if you consider yourself a coach, a mentor, or whatever, there's a place for you. If you're willing to give, an hour or two out of a week, we don't ask for much, for you to be able to be matched one-to-one with a young person. Or if you're interested in our Scholars Program, we need folks that are in their careers, that are able to share their careers with young people, even if it's a shadow day where they come with you and see what you're doing, whether finance, law, you be an educator, whatever the case might be. We have youth that are interested in what you do. We would love to have you to give some time, even if it's running a workshop. We can schedule to run a workshop with our scholars and teach them some of the things that made you the wonderful individual that you are. And whenever you see anything that we're doing, any event, any open house that we're hosting, we want people to come in droves to see what we're all about. And then the last thing I want people to know is that our offices are open every day, Monday through Friday. So you can even drop by, come see me or any of the staff members that are present, and we'll surely get you everything that you need to know about our program.